You wake up, check your banking app, and your heart sinks.
It's the same story every single month.
You work hard, you put in the hours, and you see a decent paycheck hit your account. For a few days, you feel secure. But then, as the weeks crawl by, that balance begins to dwindle. By the time the next payday is around the corner, you're staring at a balance that's dangerously close to zero. You find yourself wondering, where did it all go?
You aren't buying Ferraris or flying private jets, so why does it feel like you're constantly living on the edge?
The truth is, a zero-balance savings account is rarely the result of one big purchase.
Instead, it is usually the result of 3 specific psychological and habit-based mistakes that act like a slow leak in a tire. If you don't plug them, you will never gain traction, no matter how much your salary increases.
The first mistake is what experts call lifestyle inflation, or the "I deserve this" trap.
This is the most common reason why people who earn more money don't actually get any richer. It works like this. When you get a raise or a bonus, your standard of living rises to meet your new income.
You trade your older car for a newer model with a higher monthly payment.
You move into a slightly nicer apartment.
You start eating out at restaurants that are just a bit more expensive.
On the surface, it feels like progress.
You feel like you're leveling up in life.
But in reality, you are just running faster on a treadmill that stays in the same place. You've increased your expenses at the exact same rate as your income, which means your ability to save remains at zero.
The "I deserve this" mentality is a trap because it prioritizes temporary comfort over permanent security.
To break this, you have to decide to live one level below your means. When you get a raise, keep your expenses the same and move that extra money directly into savings before you even have a chance to miss it. The second mistake is the death by 1,000 cuts, or the lack of a tracking system for small expenses. Most people know how much their rent is. They know their car payment. But very few people can tell you exactly how much they spent on subscriptions, coffee, convenience store snacks, or small online purchases last month. These are the $5, $10, and $20 decisions that feel insignificant in the moment.
You tell yourself, it's just $10. It won't kill me.
But when you make 10 of those decisions a week, that's $400 a month.
Over a year, that's nearly $5,000 that could have been in your savings account or an investment fund.
Without a budget or a tracking app, your money doesn't just disappear. It leaks out of your pockets in tiny droplets until the bucket is empty.
You don't need to live a life of deprivation, but you do need to be conscious.
If you don't tell your money where to go, you will end up wondering where it went.
The third and perhaps most critical mistake is the save what's left strategy. Most people approach their finances in this order. They receive their paycheck, they pay their bills, they spend on their lifestyle, and then they promise to save whatever is left over at the end of the month.
The problem is there is almost never anything left over.
Human nature dictates that we will find a way to spend the resources available to us.
If there is money in your checking account, your brain perceives it as spendable, and you will find a need for it. To fix this, you have to flip the script and adopt the pay-yourself-first principle. The moment your paycheck arrives, a predetermined percentage should move automatically into a separate savings or investment account. This money should be treated like a non-negotiable bill that you owe to your future self. By doing this, you force yourself to live on what remains. You'll be surprised at how quickly your brain adapts to a slightly smaller budget, and more importantly, you'll finally see that savings balance start to grow. Breaking the cycle of a zero-balance account isn't about how much you earn, it's about the systems you put in place. It's about recognizing that your biggest financial enemy isn't the economy or your boss, it's the small, daily habits that keep you stuck.
When you stop inflating your lifestyle, start tracking the small leaks, and begin paying yourself first, you stop surviving month to month and start building a foundation that can actually support your dreams.
Stop letting your hard work vanish into thin air.
It's time to keep what you earn.